women. And I address Black women specifically because we're the only ones that have been conditioned to believe that a relationship can survive off of penis, prayer, potential, and love alone. Anytime we desire a financially and fiscally responsible and secure man, we're then villainized. We're called gold diggers. We're called prostitutes. We're literally called out of our names for wanting a man to provide for the family that he has created. Men and women will try to guilt you into accepting less. Do not allow anyone to gaslight you into lowering your standards. Women will literally say, at least he has a job, at least he has a car, just because they've accepted less. And men will project on you and say, you're going to die alone, or you're going to be 45, you're going to look up and be single, so you might as well settle now anyway. We're not doing that. We're not doing struggle love. We're not doing the ride or die. We're not getting it out of the mud. It's okay to want people to come to the relationship financially intact. One thing's for sure and two things for certain. Having high standards will save you from low-level experiences, and I've never seen someone who actually meets your high standards complain about them. Stop feeling guilty and stop feeling shame for wanting more. Go where you're desired.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as per the title, guys, you can see the dusty of the day is this male that you guys are viewing here on your screen. And instead of this male being concerned about his teeth that are literally fighting to see one another nearby, this male thought that he would come out here and talk about, isn't it interesting how a lot of our grandmother or mom, they're still within marriage, but a lot of their daughters, they're divorced. I think it is so interesting that the lowest hanging group of society, we already know that out of every group of male, these male are the least or that are married, but they somehow, that 1% of time that they feel like they want to get married, we already know for the most part, it is literally only when the women that are delusional enough to get with them, that are going to marry them. We know that these male are the biggest gold digger. This is precisely why they're willing to tolerate you as a Black woman when you're willing to provide them with a very much stable life. But unfortunately, Black women, they continue to know this, and Black women also continue to disregard it. Nonetheless, guys, you guys know Dr. Z, she's slowly also but surely becoming also one of my favorite TikToker. And as you guys can see, for the pick me shot, for the lowest hanging group of society that say I only talk about the dusties within the US, Dr. Z, she's an African lady. And as you guys can see, there's also continental dusties. Nonetheless, guys, listen to what this male here had to say. Once again, imagine if this male was this concerned about his teeth. Imagine how better off his life will be. Nonetheless, listen to this dust bucket coming out here trying to shame women into dusty marriages. Also, listen to what Dr. Z had to say, and then we will come back with more.
Doesn't it bother you that our mothers are still in marriage, but many of their daughters are divorced? It goes to show that as far as marriage is concerned, there is something fundamental we are missing in our generation.
It doesn't bother us because the survival of a marriage in the African context is dependent on the suffering and the endurance of the wife. Marriage in the African context and the longevity of that marriage is dependent on the suffering and endurance of the wife. Our mothers and our grandmothers endured so that they can stay in marriage, and the women of this generation are not willing and ready to endure. Some of our grandmothers and our mothers endured because our grandfathers and our fathers were successful, and so they did not want to forfeit their children not getting an inheritance. But for some, they only endured because of the stigma of divorce, and some endured because of the social status of being a wife. I always say this. Those of you who followed me long enough know that I say this all the time. Social evolution missed men. Women of this generation are going to school. Even if they are not going to school, they are getting a career. They are getting an income. They are mothers, they are wives. But men are stuck on only being providers. And the thing about this generation is that most of you men cannot be sole providers. Most of you are 50-50 men. In some cases, your wives earn more and contribute more income to the household. Yet most of you men want to enjoy. the marriage dynamics that your grandfathers and your fathers had, and that is delusional. Until men are willing to change to become healthy, loving, emotionally available, and wholesome life partners, husbands, and fathers, things will not change. The women of this generation will not tolerate any form of abuse, disrespect from a man simply because they want to be married or stay married. And that is something that most of you men have not grappled with. I say this all the time. Dear men, if you want to understand marriage from a real perspective, talk to your mothers. Your mothers were not happy in their marriages. They endured. Unfortunately, most of you men would rather uphold patriarchy than to even seek understanding and empathize with the women in your family. So if you want to understand marriage from a real perspective, talk to your grandmothers and talk to your mothers, because they were not happy in their marriages. They only endured in their marriages, and those marriages survived for 50 years, 60 years, simply because of the endurance and the suffering of the wife. And before some of you come into my comments to paint your grandmothers and your mothers as saints, they were not. Your grandmothers and some of your mothers rebelled against patriarchy by mixing up their children. I always say this: your grandmothers and some of your mothers are the patrons of paternity fraud. If you think I'm lying, conduct a DNA test on your grandmother's children. That is how they rebelled against patriarchy in your grandmother's time. Thankfully, because of social evolution and progress in society, the women of this generation, we are positioned to take care of ourselves and provide for ourselves, and therefore we will not tolerate disrespect, abuse, exploitation, and dehumanization in the name of marriage. My name is Dr. Zita. I'm a sociologist. If you're not following, guess what? Hit the follow button.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it once again. I think Dr. Z did an amazing job by coming out here and stating the facts, because once again, these male feel like you as a woman, you have to be in these long, toxic, suffering, tumultuous marriage, also that you can be able to come out here and say, well, at least I'm married. This is why I will continuously come out here and promote marriage, but I will never promote this type of dysfunctional marriage, because at the end of the day, Black woman, if you want to be married, trust me and believe me when I say you don't have to endure all of the mistreatment. You don't have to endure your husband going out here cheating on you, bringing back all of these different STIs, bringing back all of these side babies. And these males, literally for themselves, they will come out here and say how they were gone the whole weekend. And when they came back home, they had their delusional wife just there sitting, waiting for them. Don't you guys remember a few weeks back, there was this pastor where he spoke about how his delusional wife, she would literally iron his dusty clothes so that he would be able to go out here and meet up with his mistress. It can never ever be me. Once again, Black woman, when I come out here and I promote the foundation of you getting in a stable marriage, you being able to take care of the kids, if that is something that you want, make sure if you're getting married, it is someone that if you do decide that you want to procreate, you won't have to suffer. This is not the type of marriage that I be talking about when I come out here and talk about the importance of marriage. But I'm pretty sure everyone that are on this channel, you guys are smart enough to know that. Nonetheless, guys, you guys know whenever I saw this dust bucket once again and his teeth that are literally fighting each other, y'all know I also had to hop into the comment section to see what people are sounding off saying. And I do have to say, this comment section, once again, they did not disappoint. As y'all can see, the first commentator say, our fathers are also in marriage, but their sons are not. Exactly. This one say, nope, it doesn't bother me. As a matter of fact, my mother's marriage is encouraging me to not marry. And they put not married in all caps. This one say, married for 50 plus years, but should have left 50 years ago. Wish I had. This one say, oh, you should have left this one for me. I was about to tell him my mind. This one say, the daughters are divorced. What of men? Are they married or divorced too? He's using the female form for shock value. This dust bucket say, at this point, as usual, love you, Dr. Zeta. This one say, tell them, doc, you nailed it. Dr. Z said, we are tired. This one say, well spoken. This one say, Dr. Z, you look fabulous. This one say, exactly 100%. My mental health is very important. This one say, the fact that neither mother and grandmother were not complaining didn't mean they are sane. They were cheating quietly. Dr. Z said, fact. This one say, my grandmother married 2 men and left them both. I am not bothered at all. This one say, a quote-unquote pastor said to me that in every marriage, one has to be a fool, and guess who he wants to be the fool? Me. After all my educational achievement. This one say, and the way she always start her stitch, it doesn't bother us. Hitting the nail on the head directly. And ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, this is all that I have to say on this dust bucket coming out here saying that why is it that our mother or grandmother that they are married, why all of their daughter are getting divorced. Once again, dust bucket, as you guys can see, nobody really cares about y'all coming out here and trying to shame women into struggle, because at the end of the day, being married to y'all, I can only imagine the dustiness that has to be. Nonetheless, guys, this is all that I have to say on this whole predicament. Whatever your thoughts and opinion are, please get in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.
Black women, it's time to hold ourselves accountable because we are reaping what we sowed. We have lied and gassed black men up for centuries, letting them think that they are kings with no kingdoms, letting them think that they are the emperor when they are naked. And now we are dealing with the consequences of those actions. Instead of being honest with black men and requiring them to do better for not only themselves, but the community that they helped create, we have allowed them to tear it apart and then put it back together quietly behind their backs and then still let them get the credit for it.